All right, let's dive right in. We're talking about something huge today, a total shift in how software gets built. I'm talking about a real blueprint for how one single developer could, and I'm serious here, build a billion-dollar company in this new age of AI. Let's get to it.
Yeah, this quote, it just nails it, doesn't it? This is the new reality. The whole game has changed. Your most valuable skill? It's not about how well you can write code anymore. No, it's about being the conductor, designing the entire symphony.
And look at this number, $1 billion. Seriously, for the first time, well, ever, this is the kind of value a single person, a solo founder, can actually build. This isn't some sci-fi fantasy. It's a real opportunity, and it's on the table right now.
So you're probably asking, how on earth is that even possible for one person? Well, it's because we've stumbled into a totally new frontier. It's a brand new market where all the old rules of building software, they don't apply anymore.
You know, the best way I can think of to explain this new landscape, it's like a giant game of snakes and ladders. There are all these different layers to the AI industry, and everything, literally everything, comes down to picking the right ladder to climb.
Okay, so take a look at this. It breaks it down really clearly. Up top, you've got the big players, right? Consumer AI, that's your ChatGPTs. And horizontal agents, those general assistants, those games are pretty much over. Just a couple of massive winners. But look down at that last bar, vertical agents. That is the gold rush. We're talking about super specialized AI for specific industries, finance, healthcare, law, you name it. And the number of winners there, it's unlimited. That is the ladder you need to find.
But here's the catch. To climb that ladder, you can't be the same developer you were yesterday. Your whole role has to change. And I'm not just talking about learning a new skill. This is a complete identity shift, from being just a coder to becoming something way, way more powerful.
And this really shows what I'm talking about. On the left, that's the old way, right? The coder, head down, just grinding out lines of code. But on the right, that's the new paradigm, the super orchestrator. You're not just banging on the keyboard anymore, you're the conductor. You're designing the grand vision, the architecture, and you're leading a whole team of AI agents to make it happen.
So what does that actually look like day to day? Well, your focus completely shifts. It moves from the nitty-gritty code to the big picture, the master plan. You're the one designing the system architecture, you're writing the executable specs that your AI agents will follow, and your main job is to go out and dominate a niche market. Seriously, the whole mechanical act of just typing code, that's becoming a thing of the past. This is the era of the strategist, the orchestrator.
And this isn't just about changing how you think. No, this whole transformation is fueled by a completely new kind of asset. An asset that you're going to create, that you're going to own, and that you will build your entire company on top of. Get ready for this, because it's a big one. The core idea is that code is now disposable. Yeah, you heard me. It can be spit out by an AI on demand. The real asset, the thing that's actually valuable and builds that billion-dollar valuation, is something called reusable vertical intelligence. Just think of it like these little Lego blocks of pure expertise. You build them once, and then you can use them over and over and over again. This is your new treasure chest.
So this intelligence library isn't just some fuzzy idea. It's actually built from 3 really specific, really powerful building blocks that all fit together. Okay, first up, you've got sub-agents. Think of these as your personal team of autonomous experts. Like, imagine you could build an AI that's the world's best medical records analyzer, or a legal contract reviewer that never gets tired. You build it, you perfect it just one time, and then boom, it's a permanent tool in your arsenal, ready to go whenever you need it. All right, next, you give those sub-agents what we call skills. These are just modular abilities you can plug into them. Now, some are horizontal, things like using Docker or Kubernetes. They're useful, sure, but they're kind of generic. The real magic, the real value is in the vertical skills. We're talking super specific stuff like medical coding or financial portfolio optimization. This is how you stack on that deep, industry-specific knowledge and build something nobody else has. And finally, the third piece of the puzzle. This one is the real game changer. It's called the Model Context Protocol, or MCP. And this is your defensible moat. What it is a set of super specialized connectors that lets your AI agents talk to and deeply integrate with all that existing, sometimes ancient industry software. Stuff like Epic in healthcare or QuickBooks for finance. These systems are incredibly complex. Building those deep integrations is a ton of work. And that's exactly why the giant general-purpose AI companies won't bother.
and that gives you a massive defensible edge.
Okay, so we've talked about the opportunity, we've talked about the tools in your arsenal, but the big question is, how do you actually do it? How do you get from here to there? Well, this isn't just a bunch of theory. There's a real, actionable roadmap you can follow. And here it is, the 6-step path to billions. It's a pretty logical journey, actually. First, you gotta master the new toolkit. Then, you find your niche, that vertical you're gonna own. From there, you build a small, focused MVP. You use a really smart strategy to get your foot in the door, and then you just scale and pivot until you dominate your slice of the market. See? Each step builds right on the last one. It makes this huge goal feel, well, kinda doable.
Now, a really key part of that plan is something called the Piggyback Protocol Pivot, or PPP. And the idea is just brilliant. Instead of trying to fight the big industry giants head-on, which is basically suicide, you create something that plugs into their systems and makes their products even better. You piggyback on them. You use their giant customer base to build your own, and only then, once you're established, do you pivot and become a competitor. It's so smart. Super low risk, super high reward.
Okay, let's zoom out and bring this all home. What we are really, truly talking about here is a complete rewriting of what value even means in the software world. And honestly, your entire future as a developer really hinges on getting your head around this massive shift.
For, decades now, the big idea has been code reuse. Sharing libraries, sharing modules, and it was good, but it was still pretty manual, still just about sharing syntax. The new paradigm is intelligence reuse, and that is a monumental leap. We're not just sharing code snippets anymore. We are orchestrating entire systems that have deep expertise baked right into them, systems that can basically integrate themselves. It's just a completely different and way more powerful way of building things.
And that's the bottom line right there. Nobody cares how fast you can code anymore. Your real competitive advantage, your defensive moat, the thing that gets you to that billion-dollar valuation, it's the quality and the depth of your personal intelligence library, period. Look, the big advantage here goes to the people who see this happening and jump on it right now. This isn't some trend that's 5 years away. The revolution is already here. The developers who start building these intelligence libraries, who start mastering the art of orchestration today, they are the ones who are going to build the next billion-dollar companies. And they're going to do it all by themselves. So there you have it. The opportunity is crystal clear. The tools are there for the taking. The path is laid out right in front of you. The only question left is the one you got to ask yourself. The game board is set. The dice are in your hand. Which ladder are you going to climb?